Hello, and welcome to a special birthday bonus bonanza episode of Old Men Yell at Cloud. I am your birthday boy, Christopher, and I am joined by Patrick.
Hi.
And Jim.
Birthday spankings will commence immediately after the episode.
Oh, yeah.
As long as you give me one for good luck.
Can I get some too?
Today we are joined by an old friend of mine from the music scene, and an embarrassing many amount of years ago, Dan Greening. Dan, how's it going?
It's going pretty well, Chris. How are you?
I'm doing all right.
Nice.
Welcome.
He made it around the sun once more.
Yeah, I survived. Well, I've got to make it in like another 6 days or so.
Oh,
then.
okay.
How old are we
Or
turning
5
this year?
days.
You don't have to say if you
It's
don't
37.
want. Okay.
No,
That's
I
pretty
actually
good.
had to think about it. But I'm like odd year, so it's...
Oh, yeah. Well, once you get into your, like, mid-30s, you really do start to lose track. Like, it's... What's the fucking point? It's 34,
and
36. Like, they're all the same.
I just
At
don't
this
give a
point-
shit.
At this point,
Yeah.
my mother doesn't know how old I am anymore.
Yeah, I mean, that's kind of been the case with, like, my family for a long time.
Oh, yeah. I mean, you're an adult now. Like,
Yeah.
you're not supposed to give a shit about your birthday.
Yeah, no, absolutely not. But, yeah, it's like you said. It's like at a certain point, like, you just stop... You lose count. It's like fucking
Right.
Monopoly money at that point. Like, who gives a shit?
Totally anticlimactic every year.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. I've come to accept that, like, there are just some years that you have a shitty birthday. Like, that's just life because sometimes you have shitty days. Like,
Yeah, like the one when I was 17 and my dad made me do yard work.
God. Yeah, that one sucked.
Happy birthday, son. Go mow the lawn.
Yeah, yeah. All right, today we are talking about The Man Machine, which is the 7th studio album by German electronic music band Kraftwerk. It was released on 19th May 1978 by Kling Klang in Germany and Capitol Records elsewhere. A further refinement of their mechanical style, the album saw the group incorporate more danceable rhythms and less minimalistic arrangements, and includes the singles The Model and The Robots. Although it was initially unsuccessful in the UK album chart, it reached a new peak position of number 9 in February 1982, becoming the band's second highest peaking album in the United Kingdom after Autobahn.
Wow. Took
Yeah.
a few years.
Yeah, and this album's noteworthy for a few reasons. I thought it was the first one where they used a sequencer, but that was actually Trans-Europe Express, which is the album before that. But it was the first time that Kraftwerk member Karl Bartos was co-credited as a composer on a number of the songs, or actually all of the songs on this album. Cementing his position in the band's history, unlike Wolfgang Flür, the fourth member, who they've kind of tried to sweep under the rug as time has gone on.
Right. So what did this gentleman do before? What was his role in the band before?
So Karl Bartos and Wolfgang Flür were the live drummers.
Okay.
So they did all the live percussion, that stuff. In the studio,
How was that broken up? Did like one person do hi-hat and the other did like kick and snare?
I think so. I
Yeah.
think it was something like that. In the studio, Karl was the one who came up with most of the actual like drum parts.
Okay.
And Wolfgang Flür primarily was there to like build and repair their equipment. So he was actually responsible for a lot of their sound, even though he wasn't writing songs or anything like that. So
Right.
It's a little unfair that they've been trying to wipe him out, but whatever.
Yeah. I mean that's probably a rare example of a band that like, you know, that's a crucial member to have, someone to like repair these fucking instruments.
Yeah, and build new ones.
Right,
Like,
exactly.
For the tour after this, for the Computer World tour, they actually had a drum cage, or it might have been the tour before this, that he built that was light sensitive, so they could wave their arms to control drum sounds.
Oh, that's cool.
Which was really cool. The problem was that it doesn't exactly work on like a live music stage environment with lighting and shit like
flashing
that.
all over the place.
Yeah, so it basically was completely impractical, and they had to just not use it almost immediately in the tour.
Anytime someone takes a picture with their cell phone, it fucking hits the drum.
I mean, this was like 1977.
Yeah, you didn't have a cell phone back then?
Oh shit, you're right. Anyway,
You weren't alive back then?
I was -5.
Oh, that's right. We talked about your birthday earlier.
Yeah. So let's go around the horn and start this. So, Jim, what was your favorite song?
My favorite song is going to be Metropolis. I liked this one because it kind of had that dystopian vibe to it, even though it's called Metropolis. It kind of had like I just could picture like Kurt Russell riding a fucking beat up motorcycle trying to get out of New York kind of deal.
Have you ever seen the movie Metropolis?
No.
It's a silent German film that is very dystopian.
Oh,
Have you heard the Dream Theater song?
I have.
I know.
Fucking clowns.
Part 2, right? Yeah.
Well, 1 and 2.
Yeah, part 1.
Is there a 3 yet?
No, I don't think so.
What are
Next
they waiting
year.
for?
Is that like they're Unforgiven?
Yeah,
Where they just keep
Unforgiven
sequeling
3.
it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, that's like the whole, like, what was it, Glass Prison and the other ones there, they're all about Portnoy's fucking, like, alcohol, the good problem.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, there were like 5 or 6 of those songs at some point. But anyway, yeah, Metropolis is a pretty cool track on this record. I remember particularly like the sort of gliding synths that happen. They were like providing a bass note, but they just like they sort of glide up the octave, and just like gives a really nice effect. I like the way that they're all sequenced.
Nice.
I don't know.
Yeah. What was your favorite song?
I'm also going to go with Metropolis. I really love the Fritz Lang movie, Sonnet the Brattle. I love dystopian kind of fiction in general, and the particular arrangement and like the synth swells are just awesome. I mean, I love them.
Yeah, not to get too far into the movie Metropolis, but I think of that movie fucking often when I'm getting off the train at Copley, and there's like the whole line of people like just shuffling up the stairs. It makes me think of that scene of people commuting at the beginning of the movie.
Now, is this song associated with the movie at all?
I don't think so. I'm not 100% on that though.
The movie came out in 1927, so I'm sure they saw it.
Yeah, and I mean they are German.
Yeah,
it's
right.
a German film.
I don't know. We haven't gotten around to it yet.
Yeah, well they
We got to fix these fucking synths.
They actually might have, because one of the whole kind of principles that Kraftwerk really believed in when they were first starting out especially is that they wanted to do something that was uniquely German post-World War II that was positive, and start creating like positive associations for Germans and German artistic expression and everything like that. So they probably did actually enjoy like a fair amount of like pre-World War II and in some cases pre-World War I culture and what have you. So I think it's probably likely that it's influenced by it in some extent.
Oh yeah, like the Weimar Republic. Which was Metropolis was kind of in and around.
Right.
That was like the peak of German like artistic expression in the early 20th century. So
Yeah. Patrick.
So my favorite, I had a couple in mind, but I'm gonna go with Space Lab. I also really like the robots, but at the end of the day, I'm going to go with Space Lab. And this is a record that's, to me, very kind of cold and stark. And you know, I think that's, you know, the general MO of this record and like the feel that it's supposed to create. But yeah, something about Space Lab has it's just like the way the chords are crafted, no pun intended. And just like they're just like really great melody happening and hooks and the builds and everything, just the way everything's put together. It's very, very satisfying to listen to, and you know, it's all over the record, obviously making use of repetition, but nothing really gets annoying or cloying or anything like that in this particular song either. I really like that song.
Yeah, Space Lab was actually my entry point into Kraftwerk, so it holds a special place in my heart for that reason. It was the first track that I Napstered, I think, of theirs, and then before I started getting into full albums and what have you. It's actually... I've known about Kraftwerk for almost my entire life, which is fucking weird. because my brother used to have these magazines from when he was a kid. I'm the youngest of 5, so my oldest brother's like almost 14 years older than me. And he used to have these magazines in his room from when he was a kid that were kind of like Fangoria, but not quite. They also talked about like science fiction and shit like that, but like for kids. So it would like talk about like horror movies that they weren't allowed to see and shit like that. And for their Halloween episode, they had our issue from like fucking 1980 or whenever the fuck it was, it had a list of like the top 10 scariest bands, and Alice Cooper was on the list, Kiss was on the list, and Kraftwerk was on the list. And I remember from when I was a kid, like looking at it, thinking like this looks insane, and like kind of being afraid of it.
Why is Kiss scary? Kiss isn't scary.
This was a magazine for children.
I mean, it's weird that they were bringing Kraftwerk into it, though. But I mean, yeah, you look at the guys on the cover of this record;
creepy.
It's very nihilist looking. In fact, I think what was it, the cover of this record, or maybe the cover of Trans Europe Express, that they kind of lampooned and Big Lebowski.
It was this one.
Yeah, it was this one.
Yeah, the whole what is it, Audubon? Was that the?
Yes,
the band,
yeah, the nihilists.
Yeah.
We believe in nothing.
Cool. I am going to go with Neon Lights. For me, it's a close call. Space Lab is definitely up there. It's probably tied with Neon Lights, to be honest. But yeah, I think the two of them kind of are the yin and yang of this particular album. Space Lab, I think, is kind of like the lowest mood-wise, whereas Neon Lights is sort of like the lightest mood-wise. And yeah, there's just a lot going on through this album. Lots of synth glissandos happening and kind of all working together as counterpoint, and it's really fucking cool. And I just kind of like the simple like electric piano type thing happening throughout that just kind of like, I don't know, gives it a source of levity that a lot of this album doesn't have.
Right.
Also, I made a note that Patrick peed or pooped during this.
I just peed. Couldn't get any poop out. No, I like this song a lot too. And yeah, there are these moments that, music geek moment, but like the song's in D major and then it like modulates to the relative minor, but like B major to kind of give it this extra drama and lift for the bridge parts. And I think that that's really cool and kind of not what you expect from like an electronic group, but yeah, it's very satisfying.
I can't remember if I've asked you this before, Patrick, but do you have perfect pitch?
I'm like, yeah, kind of, I guess.
Yeah.
Relative pitch. Usually. Sometimes I get like D and D flat mixed up, but I don't know, close enough for jazz.
Do you do it because you identify certain notes with certain songs?
Exactly.
Yeah, I can do B very easily, thank you to Comfortably Numb.
Exactly.
And there's a couple others I can do like that. I can usually pick out D, but yeah, that's a good way to actually learn perfect pitch.
Yeah. I mean, it's just kind of like a thing that I catalog in my head.
Yeah. Jim, least favorite song?
My least favorite is The Robots.
We are the robots. We are the robots. We are the robots. We are the robots.
Yatvoi Sluga. Yatvoi Robotnik.
Apparently they're the robots because they said it like 17 million times in the song, which is why I don't like it.
I mean, this is the Space Lab, this is the Metropolis, this is the Neon Lights.
But I like those.
Those are fun things. So the robots are scary.
Yeah.
So that was a flat-out dislike. It's not a least favorite.
No, I didn't dislike it. It just...
Okay.
I liked how it started. I liked how everything came in, but then after like the fucking like 15th repeat of "We Are the Robots," I was like, all right, I've had enough of this.
I would say that the live versions of it from the last decade or two have been a lot more interesting than this version.
Yeah.
Kraftwerk are kind of like the George Lucas of like the electronic music world, in that they keep going back and fucking tinkering with things.
So they're they're grabbing for money. Is that what you're telling me?
No, it's like, and even anytime they tour, like all the songs will be completely different.
Yeah.
There's like between one tour and the next, like a song will be arranged differently. They do a lot of that. So
it's more the sentiment that like, had we had this technology at the time, we would have realized this particular vision a little better.
Exactly. And every 2 years it's like, oh shit, well, we have all of these new plugins and all of these new like fucking synthesizers, so let's do this again. So it's funny because like the Minimum Maximum, their live album from, was that 2005? The versions on that of a lot of the songs are completely different from the versions that we saw in like 2013 or was it 2013?
Was it the 3D tour?
Yeah.
I think it was
2015.
2015. Yeah.
2015. Yeah, like granted it's a 10-year difference, but it was like completely different arrangements of everything, which was fucking, I don't know, it's insane that they do that on a pretty constant basis. Dan, least favorite.
I'm also going to go with the robots.
We are the robots. We are the robots. We are the robots. We are the robots.
I've seen Kraftwerk live a couple times, and I don't know, the kind of like basic dummy robots that they have that they put a lot of like kind of drama on it in the show. Just, I don't know, it doesn't really do it for me. I like other parts of the show, the Audubon sequences, like the radioactivity sequences.
Radioactivity Live is their fucking best work as far as I'm concerned.
And I'll totally agree with, the kind of 10-year difference. I saw them in 2004 at Coachella, went specifically to Coachella to see Kraftwerk, and then saw them again in 2015. And the live show was completely, different in terms of the tinkering with the songs. And
now everything is 3D on stage as well.
Yeah,
you have to wear fucking Kraftwerk branded 3D glasses.
I brought my little 3D glasses from the show.
Yep, mine are propped up on top of the desk.
There was that show was actually kind of interesting because I had not bought tickets myself, and Amanda's my ex-wife's friend was like, "Hey, you want to go see Kraftwerk?" And I'm like, "Yeah, sure." And we had no idea where we were sitting, and we ended up sitting third row for that show.
That's very good.
They were like, "Come on, go forward." We were like, "But oh, nice." It was amazing.
If you're in like one of the front rows at a Kraftwerk concert, do you get like the Gallagher curtain thing over you that you gotta hold up in case they get any like robot juice on you?
Yeah, right. It's like being at Blue Man Group. You get your little poncho.
Patrick.
My least favorite is going to be the Rammstein cover. Just kidding. The Model. I actually like this song perfectly fine. It's probably just the least engaging to me on the record, and I'm not really entirely sure why. I think it's just the sort of like, I don't know, just the sort of like, I don't know, something about the melody just doesn't, hearing it ad nauseum doesn't quite do it for me. Or the it's like it's like every like 80s sort of dance pop song had that same chord progression, and yeah, I mean, I know this was 1978 and they probably did it first, but yeah, at this point I'm just kind of over it.
Yeah, whenever I listen to Pocket Calculator off of Computer World, I always hear Material Girl. Like that first loop of it sounds a lot like Material Girl, but I digress.
Weren't you saying that the cover of the Model that Rammstein did was the only cover, the only Kraftwerk cover that what's his name had heard that he didn't like?
Wolfgang Flür is, as far as I know, I don't think Karl Bartos wrote a book, but Wolfgang Flür definitely did. And in it, he mentions that like he usually really likes hearing Kraftwerk covers and hearing like what other people do. But he specified that the Rammstein version of the Model is the only cover he has heard of Kraftwerk that he does not like.
Very specific.
Yeah, no, he actually like calls them out in it to say that it's not good.
Yeah, it's a little silly. It's a little chugga chugga wugga.
Speaking of which, Dan, have you ever heard Yamo?
No, I have not.
That's Wolfgang Flür's project, his solo project. They released one album in like the early aughts, and it is weird.
Is it? I'll have to check it out.
It's deeply weird. I don't know if it's the single or just the song that John Green and I latched onto, but there's a song on it called Mosquito that is so fucking odd.
Let's see if it's too weird to be on Spotify.
It might be. I had to physically order a copy of the CD at one point to hear it.
I think it's too weird to be on Spotify.
Yeah. Don't worry, I own it.
He has to burn you a copy of it.
All right. Deal.
So Kurt has to burn you a copy of it.
So for me personally, least favorite, and it is exactly that because all of these songs are A or A- students for me, is going to be The Man Machine, the title song. And for me, it's just kind of, I think it just suffers from being sequenced poorly on the album. To me, Neon Lights was the ideal closer for this album, and The Man Machine kind of feels like it's just tacked on afterwards, whereas I think if those two songs had been switched, I might have different feelings about it.
Yeah, I often don't get this far into the records. I end up kind of skipping it, but I actually really like that song. But I agree that it feels... Neon Lights feels like the more definitive closer.
Agreed, yeah. It's kind of like I saw Slint live a couple years back, and they played Good Morning Captain, the last song off of Spiderland,
right.
And then they played another song after it, and it was like, this is like really bad, guys. Don't do that. Like,
Yeah, don't do
Good Morning
that.
Captain is the end of your set. Just let's leave it like that. Jim, MVP moment.
MVP moment. I guess they're sawtooth swells at the beginning of Space Lab.
Oh yeah,
Ooh, yeah, that's good
yeah. Those
shit.
are real nice.
Yeah.
It it adds a little bit of humanity to the otherwise kind of cold and sterile album that this is.
I actually really like the usage of the like dominant pedal that they use on those beginning chords, because it gives it like just that much more tension and anxiety that sort of gives when they actually do drop that main chord and start singing, it's very satisfying and gives it a little more gravitas.
Yeah, puts a little cheese on that taco.
Exactly, that's what they were thinking.
They were thinking about tacos.
Oh man, at the wedding I was at
so
yesterday,
hungry.
little tacos for hors d'oeuvres. They were
I
fantastic.
think they're called taquitos.
Taquitos. Yeah.
No, they were like little hard
like-
shell tacos.
Oh, like actual
yeah,
little
like
tacos.
tiny, like the
yeah,
size.
taquitos are rolled up.
Yeah, taquitos are rolled up.
That's
No,
amazing.
These were actual like miniature tacos. They were probably like the size of like a Matchbox car, maybe a little
That's
small.
amazing.
The
Good
top,
shit.
The tapas taco.
Was it an open bar?
You know it.
How you feeling, Buckaroo?
Surprisingly, all right. I think it's because I've been drinking all weekend. So
You also had a hearty breakfast
I
at
did.
McDonald's.
yeah, I was looking for suggestions from Christopher of where I should eat before I came here.
Yeah, and I suggested the North Ave Diner, and then Jim sent us a picture a few minutes later of his table number at McDonald's.
Well, I knew that with the given hangover state, McDonald's was a sure win. Everything else is up in the air.
have you ever done the big breakfast at McDonald's?
No,
This question is for anyone. You have?
When I was a kid, oh yeah, me and my grandma and grandpa would go to McDonald's every day for coffee, and this was in Nowheresville.
Those are some good grandparents.
Yeah, Nowheresville, Connecticut, and the McDonald's big breakfast was, lovingly packed in smelly styrofoam. It was delicious.
What is in it? What is it comprised
So
of?
it's like all of the components, but separate. So they give you a couple pancakes. That's like the only unusual thing.
Hot cakes.
Hotcakes. My bad. They cannot legally call them pancakes.
No, they cannot.
I won't mention the business, but I sent Christopher. I was looking for places to eat in Wakefield, and I was reading the Yelp reviews on some of the establishments, and this guy Adam really doesn't like this place. He says this place is infested with roaches. They can never get rid of them because of all the businesses won't pay for an exterminator. The owner Red is a I shouldn't say.
Edit point.
The owner is a cheap prick. The owner is a cheap prick who bangs blank and pretends to be gay to guests. He also slaughters. It says he also slaughters peasants. I think he meant to say pheasants, without that specific license.
No, I think he meant peasants.
So he doesn't have the license to slaughter these peasants.
What?
He-
All right,
He's
in
a
the year,
scumbag.
In the year of
Is
our
he a
Lord,
dragon?
In the year of our Lord 2019, where the fuck can you get pheasants at a restaurant?
I
you
don't
definitely
know.
can't to this place because I know exactly what place you're talking about, and they have some fucking bullshit hash browns.
He's a scumbag, and there is literally roaches look behind high chairs and in the bathroom. Totally disgusting. This place has cockroaches. He keeps erasing this because he knows I'm right.
Are there cockroaches?
That particular establishment is great because it is staffed by a lot of poor man's versions.
Yeah.
So there's a poor man's Flotus, who is she's a hostess.
Yeah.
Poor man's what the fuck is Trump's wife's name?
Melania?
Melania, yeah. She's a poor man's version of her. The waitress we usually get there is a poor man's version of the second Marta from Arrested Development. Like, looks almost exactly like her. And then there's a couple others, which I can't think of at the moment because we usually don't get them. But yeah, it's just stocked with poor man's versions. It's great.
Yeah.
Well, now you know.
Now you know.
About the cucarachas.
About the cucarachas.
I hope you get a poor man's Adam Sandler. That would be a lot of fun.
You can get the real deal this weekend.
Oh, yeah.
That's right.
Yeah.
That's right. He's shooting.
Yeah,
in
actually,
the
that
neck of
reminds
the woods.
You gonna
reminds me-
go? Are you gonna try out?
It was yesterday.
Oh.
I gotta send in my headshot though because I need to at least make an effort to appear in a Happy Madison film. All
Yeah.
right,
Is it a Happy Madison production?
it is.
Wow.
Yeah, because
It's a straight to Netflix thing, right?
yeah, because he had that deal with Netflix for like it was a crazy amount of movies. It was like 7 films or something like that. And he's actually almost all the way through it now too. Like there are a lot of Adam Sandler Netflix
Yeah.
joints right now.
What was the one I saw kind of recently? It was like he and David Spade like go back to high school or something like that or the do-over.
Joe Dirt.
Well, not Joe Dirt.
Billy Madison?
No, it was the
Gilmore?
do-over. It was like
Oh yeah.
like Adam Sandler was the popular kid and David Spade was the nerd, and they like were both gonna go back. So I don't know. It's kind of like Never Been Kissed, but like even more weird. That movie's already kind of weird.
All right. Dan, MVP moment.
I'm going to go with the bridge of Metropolis into the big synth swells. Kind of really, states the middle of the album for me,
Yeah.
And anytime there's some good synth swells, I'm down. So that's it for me.
That's all I got to say about that. Patrick.
So I'm going to go with the syncopated bass synth in the Robots. And I think I brought up earlier that one of probably the most striking things about this record is how kind of cold and stark it is, but also just the mere fact that it was released in 1978 and it has synths that sound this clean, I guess it is very impressive. And obviously this is a record that went on to influence 80s electronic music in a huge way. But yeah, I was just really noticing how well balanced the sort of oomph of the bass with the clicking of the high end of the synth sounds on those bass parts. And it's just it's very impressive to hear something from that year sound like that. Where it would take probably another 5 or 6 years for pop production to sort of catch up. And I, like I said, I really love that song anyway.
I'm gonna try to get us a sponsorship from Arturia for this episode because they put out a preset pack of all Kraftwerk style things, and you actually can recreate I think at least the Robots and a couple others from this album.
Yeah.
For basically, if you have their V collection, the presets will work with all the different synths in there. So you'll open up the ARP 2600 and it'll have the Robots bass in it or something like that.
Yeah, the bass is one of my favorite things about this record on that particular track. Yeah, just really you feel it. It has this just this really nice pulse to it.
Yeah, it's fucking cool. For me, my MVP moment is going to be the melodic hook in The Model. It's just like it's this weird sort of like neoclassical bit just kind of like tossed into the song, which is
Is that the thing that Patrick hated?
no, you hated the vocal melody, right?
It was the vocal melody, and that part's fine.
Yeah. Okay, thank you.
Don't upset the birthday boy.
Sorry.
It's my party, and I can.
It's my day, frig.
Fucking do something. Yeah, frig. Yes, that's gonna be my favorite bit on that for the MVP moment. James, comparable album.
1997's Hard Normal Daddy by Square Pusher. I am not as familiar with electronic music as the two of you might be. I have my kind of handful of records I pull from either Square Pusher or Boards of Canada, or I think that's it. But yeah, I have a feeling Mr. Tom Jenkinson, aka Square Pusher, probably has pulled some influences.
Oh, for sure.
From Kraftwerk.
Yeah.
No,
I
I
don't
think
know
that's entirely unlikely.
Aphex Twin.
Yeah.
They all love Kraftwerk.
Yeah.
So I'm actually going to go with a more recent album, and that's going to be The Demonstration by Drab Majesty.
Oh shit, that album's fucking good.
It's so good. And there's a lot of similarities in terms of kind of like the sparseness. They really do like arpeggiated guitar. I love the arpeggiated kind of effects guitars that they have in that, and it's very similar in terms of they program all of their drums and basically play synths and that arpeggiated guitar live, and I'm very much looking forward to seeing them in September.
Maybe next time they come around they'll play that fucking single that's amazing that they didn't last time.
I did not see them last time, unfortunately.
I missed it as well, but I checked setlist.fm to see if I missed anything of note, and they don't fucking play Dot in the Sky. It's like, how can you have a single that is that fucking good and then not play it? Patrick.
So my comparable album is actually going. My comparable album is going to be New Order's Power, Corruption, and Lies.
Interesting.
And because that's a record that I've tried to get into New Order a few different times, and that was one that I did for the most part enjoy, but it was hard for me to get into because of the coldness and the starkness of a lot of those songs. And obviously, I think they pulled a lot of influence from Kraftwerk in Joy Division and moving forward with New Order. But there's definitely some parallels that I could draw between the two, the sort of like repetitiveness and the very like robotic, cold nature of the vocal delivery, and even just some of the sounds that they were putting together. That would be my pick.
Yeah, apparently members of New Order have said that if Ian Curtis had not killed himself and Joy Division had continued, it basically would have been the same sonic progression. Because I guess Ian Curtis was the one who got them into Kraftwerk and was kind of trying to push them into a more electronic direction.
Yeah, their trajectory would have headed in that direction anyway.
Yeah. For me, comparable album, I'm going to have to go with William Orbit's 1995 album, Pieces in a Modern Style. And it's a collection of all classical pieces that he did on synthesizers, programmed and what have you. And I think there's some guitar, like acoustic guitar and stuff kicking around on that. But for me, it's just in terms of like tonal choices and everything like that, I feel like he kind of took a little bit from this album in particular, because I think that this is one of the more lush Kraftwerk albums. This in Trans-Europe Express, whereas I think the others have a little bit more of a starkness to them. And yeah, I definitely think he pulled some from this. All right. Hey, Jim.
Hey.
Tell me about the mop.
Oh, we're gonna do the mop story?
I want to hear about the mop.
All right, I already told Christopher about the mop story, but
I have not heard about the mop. Tell me about the mop, Jim.
So Emily and I were down in Key West on vacation like a month or two ago, and we're at the hotel and we're waiting in line to go to the receptionist for whatever, to get like a shuttle pass or whatever. And this custodian is mopping the floor, like kind of right in the vicinity of where we're standing, and he's just doing his job. He's doing his thing. And this woman comes up, and now it all happened very fast, and I could not figure out if she might have been autistic or was speaking a different language, but she just started going to the custodian. She was just like, mop, mop. And like, she said mop way too much for any language. Like,
There's a limit.
there's a limit.
That's an acceptable limit.
So I don't
sure.
know if she was just excited to see a mop and was maybe had a little bit of a mental thing, or she was speaking a different language. But like I said, I don't think there's any language I can think of where that amount of the word mop is acceptable.
Now, really quick, groupthink. Let's think of a sentence in which you could say the word mop like 4 times and have it make sense.
I was saying, it's like maybe she was just like, I remember when I had a mop. It was my favorite mop.
I used to mop the kitchen.
Yeah.
I used to mop the living room. It's like a sort of like a Bubba moment from Forrest Gump.
So I think. So she sounded excited though, right? That was
she was pumped about the mop.
Yeah, she was pumped. Like maybe she just needed a mop. Like, and it was just like serendipity. There happened to be a mop for her available right there at that time.
I mean, she was on. It seemed like she was on vacation.
Yeah, but I mean, sometimes that mess back home haunts you. You gotta mop it up.
Yeah, she was actually seizing. She was just like, mop, mop, mop.
Did you take care of the sludge pile before we left? Ah, fuck.
I
We'll hit
am
it when we get back.
due to the all the weird shit that happens to you. I'm really excited to go to Iceland with you later on this year.
Oh, yeah.
Because anytime you go away, you just like encounter at least one really fucking weird thing, like that woman with the flamingos.
Oh, yeah.
Sorry, my bad. The pink ducks.
ducks.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then even right after I got off the fucking airplane, I had a guy like talking to me, and he was like on his way to rehab. And I was like, please don't ask me for a ride. Please.
And like, there's that time that the people saw what you were typing on your phone
Oh,
about
my
that. We were
God.
like, oh, these people behind me are assholes. And
Yeah.
then they just proceeded to
They
torture
proceeded
you
to
even
kick
more.
my chair for a 4-hour flight to Dallas. Yeah, that was fun. Yeah, no, that guy was like, he's like, we're walking towards the baggage claim, and he's like, hey, do you know how to get the fuck out of this airport? And I was like, I think you just keep walking straight, man. And then he just proceeded to tell me his life story. And I was just like, come on, leave me alone.
Why now?
I feel like there was another Florida story I had. I can't remember what it was, though. But they were all in, like, within 2 hours of me just being in the state.
No matter how unapproachable you look, once you get down south, they really don't care. I think they like to torture us Northerners, honestly. They're like, oh, look, it's some cold bastard. Let me mess with him.
Well, that's just it. Like, everybody's just outside all the time because it's hot out. It's nice out. Nobody wants to be cooped up indoors, and we're used to just being cooped up in our little caves and like, please leave us alone.
Yeah.
Yeah, Jim, what's your rating on this?
All right. So I'm gonna give it a 6. Not because it was unenjoyable. Like, it's an enjoyable album. It's, I wasn't there like, fucking terrible, mop. But
Mop is just a tick now.
yeah, it's just not something that's really my cup of tea. I'll say, like, it's electronic music is like, especially this type, it's sterile and kind of cold, which, I like more of like an organic thing. Even like
You can just say it's because there are no drums.
that's part of it too. But I mean, Borders of Canada doesn't have drums, but I love Borders of Canada. But they have more of an organic sound to them. You know what I mean? Even though it's all electronic, it's
They definitely fill it in a lot more than
Yeah.
the
Yeah,
sparseness
this
of
is-
this
I mean,
album.
organic.
This is a bit more stark, and I mean, it's
Yeah.
definitely a product of its time.
You're only getting like kind of one drum sound on this record, I guess.
And I mean, even like with Square Pusher, like, he's playing the bass on most of his stuff. So yeah, so 6.
Dan.
I'm also going to give it a 6.
Whoa, that
yeah.
is shocking to me.
Wow, he brought you on here because he was trying to get a 9 out of you, and this is what you fucking do on his fucking birthday.
Sorry.
Jesus
No,
Christ!
that's genuinely shocking.
Let
to
me explain myself.
right.
It's because I have more of a connection with Autobahn and Trans-Europe Express. I think initially, when I first got into Kraftwerk, I liked this album a lot more, and of course I do like certain songs more than others, Metropolis and Space Lab, mostly on this album, but
Are you trying to play the expert card?
no, not really. The reason I think that tipped the scale towards those other albums for me was driving like 130 miles an hour on the Autobahn in a Benz, just blasting Kraftwerk. It was amazing. It checked off like a bucket list thing for me, and that was just the time in my life that I loved, and it was soundtracked by Kraftwerk, and not this album. Sorry.
Fair enough. Patrick.
Yeah. So I think compared to Dan and yourself, I'm a bit more of a Kraftwerk neophyte. But I'm going to go ahead and give this an 8. I have to say that like I genuinely enjoy all 6 tracks on this album, and it's probably I've only really heard Autobahn through Computer World, and this was just the one that sort of. This was the first one that I decided to listen to, and for whatever reason, it's just the one that kind of sticks with me the most. The hooks are they're familiar, and whereas I think the other ones I just need to give more listens. I think I could find a lot of stuff that I would like, but I think what this record for me fits a very specific mood, and I think it's objectively very influential, which kind of gives it a bump up in my book. And reason why I wouldn't give this a 9 is really just because I don't really generally gravitate towards cold, like very stark music like this. I
me
definitely.
too.
I mean, I appreciate it, and I think it serves a very specific purpose and mood, and I totally respect that.
And it's you can't deny it's not influential.
Yeah, and there is, like, I totally get, like, there are some moments that I'm like, I kind of get into a trance. I'm like, yeah, fuck yeah, I totally get this. And other times where I'm just kind of, like, bored. But I think for the most part, this record is like, engaging enough that I can, give it that sort of high rating.
Sorry, I got to correct myself there. I said...
You did a double negative.
I did a double negative.
Yeah.
I just want to apologize.
Sorry, everyone.
Yeah.
I don't remember.
You can't deny it's influential. That's what I
Yes,
meant
you said
to
you
say.
can't deny it's not influential.
You can't not deny it's not. Fuck it.
For me, it's my favorite album by one of my all-time favorite bands. This gets a 10 for me. Yeah,
Nice.
this is at the top of the charts for me.
Birthday 10.
Birthday 10.
A dime, baby.
Yeah, this is an album I don't know why I've waited so long to do, but yeah, this is one of my all-time favorites by far. So yeah, 10. Basically anything else by Kraftwerk between Autobahn and really, I mean, up through Tour de France would probably get an 8 or a 9 for me.
Which is like, that was like 2002, right?
2003, yeah.
Yeah.
And and that was their first album since 1986. If you're not counting the mix, which is kind of its own album, but
You could tell that Christopher spins this record a lot. We had some technical difficulties.
yeah, it had some fucking gunk in it for sure.
I wanted to bring up just real quick. I fucking love the artwork on this record. The sort of like El Lissitzky inspired like Soviet era artwork of it with all the fucking shapes, and I was kind of making fun of it, like, oh look, let's put the coolest shapes on here, very artsy. But like I really fucking dig it. Like the text and everything. It's just like black, white, and red.
A lot of their art is done by this dude named Emil Schult, who was sort of like he was like a buddy of the band who was around a lot.
Yeah.
He co-wrote the lyrics to The Model, and like he would co-write like lyrics with them periodically. But he did a lot of their visual type stuff,
Which is funny because that's going to be Emily's name after she marries me, minus a letter on each name.
Emil Schult.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Just thought it was funny.
Emil Schult.
Emil Schult. Jim, are you related to anyone in Kraftwerk?
Probably.
Cool.
Bob.
So I was gonna go with an alternative nation story, but unfortunately the site is not loading right now. So I still
wait.
insist.
Let me see if what do you want, AT&T or
Or actually,
I think we're getting,
let me get off the Wi-Fi.
We're getting ready for a huge story from BB. I think we're getting a really
a
big
breakthrough story?
A breakthrough
Oh, yeah.
story. So, Dan, are you familiar with the website alternativenation.net?
I am not.
Okay, there it is. It's just my
Wi-Fi.
My Wi-Fi.
Okay.
So basically, it is the most clickbaity rock news website that you will ever see in your life. So there are things like Courtney Love makes disturbing Kurt Cobain death remark.
Okay, so it's like a TMZ for like music.
Even worse, because there's no story behind any of these.
Don't go to it. You're going to ruin the game.
Yeah, don't go to it. Don't go to it.
I see him on his
also,
phone over
I
there.
don't want anyone ever to go to the site to give them any click money. Let me be the only one who does.
Yeah, every time you go to that website, Bart
angel
Buchanan gets a
loses his
meal, and we don't want him to eat.
All right, so to give Dan a good example of what they've done in the past, can anyone think of a good headline versus actual story combo?
Oh, God. There was the one about Gavin Rossdale reveals drug moments at Red Hot Chili Peppers concert.
Yes, that's right. That's right.
What?
Yeah, and the actual story behind that awkward title was that he got high at Woodstock '99.
Congratulations, didn't we all?
Right.
Yeah, then there was the one that was like somebody releases big new tool like
Oh yeah.
notice or something, and ended up
new-
just being that Tool updated their website.
No, they changed servers.
Oh, that's what it was. Yeah.
Okay, let's see here. This looks like pretty good. All right, so do you want to do it round robin style again,
Yeah.
or do you guys want to discuss amongst yourselves and come up with a?
I like the round robin.
All right. So here is the headline: Keith Richards drops the Rolling Stones retirement bombshell. This is coming in hot. Released today. It is by our boy Brett Buchanan.
That's extremely straightforward. Could you read that one more time?
Yeah, it's extremely straightforward and it actually makes sense. Keith Richards drops the Rolling Stones retirement bombshell.
Damn.
Jim, what do you think happened in this article?
Keith Richards talks about how Charlie Watt once told a story about when they put his father into a retirement home.
That is a great answer. It's not correct, but that is great.
Okay.
Dan, what do you got?
That Mick Jagger slipped and broke his hip directly after his latest little YouTube dance exhibition video.
Unfortunately, no. And Patrick.
All right, so Keith Richards. So let's see. I'm trying to think like Brett Buchanan. I'm really trying to get like into his mindset, under his skin.
I'll give you. Well, this isn't really a hint. This might actually confuse things further. But Brett Buchanan is known to have two primary sources for all of his articles that he writes. One is Instagram, and the other is Howard Stern. And I will say that neither is a source in this one, but the Toronto Sun is.
Oh, see, I was going to go with Instagram. All right, so this means that. All right. He is talking about Rolling Stones retirement bombshell. I feel like he drops it like, I don't know, maybe they actually have a date, but it's like a ridiculous year, like 2060 or something like that, when they're 100 years old. Wait, 120 years old.
So that's a pretty good guess. But this one, if you take the word bombshell out of the title, this one's actually pretty on the money for Brett. It refers to an interview with Keith Richards recently where he said, in regards to a retirement, "I'd be the last to know, darling. We're feeling good and we love what we do. There's no reason to stop, really. I love it. I'm really looking forward to it."
He must have just got a brand new bag of blood that day.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, he
Teenage blood transfusions?
squeezed a teenage track star.
Yeah, so that one, it's shocking, but that one is actually relatively on the money, which you don't normally get from Brett.
Oh,
Yeah,
Brett,
that was,
you let us down.
Some good scoopage right there.
I don't know if I'd go that far, because he did call it a bombshell.
Well, I mean, he's got to throw in some. He gets paid per letter, I think.
I don't know, because
Does white space count?
I'm fairly certain that he is the only employee of this here website.
So are his posts like interpretive dances of like people's Instagram photos or something like that?
More or less, like verbally, yes, that is exactly what it is.
Oh, the best ones are like a celebrity likes an Instagram comment, and that's an article.
Yeah, because that was the that was
was
like
it?
Fred Durst reacts to
Yeah.
like some like comment, and like literally it was he liked an Instagram comment.
Or there was one that was like, I think Brad Vilk like wished somebody a happy birthday on Instagram or something like that.
Oh right, yeah. It was like Red Hot Chili Peppers reach out to reach out emotionally to John Frusciante was a favorite of mine. And that one was they wished him a happy birthday on Instagram. Anyway.
Way to spin it.
Yeah. Anyway, that's enough of that bullshit for now. Dan, thanks for joining us.
Yeah, thanks for having me.
It's been a lot of fun. Do you, or did I say that we have a 7.5 on this? That's the average rating?
I don't think you went
all right, there we go.
Sorry, we brought it down for you, man.
Yeah, it's all right. It's all right. You can all get the fuck out of my house.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Actually,
Actually,
gave it an 8. Come on.
this is
I
actually.
brought it back up.
And on that note, this is actually the last episode of this that we will record at this house. So, yeah, so
That's right.
so the string will no longer be an issue after this one.
Can we put up a commemorative shrimp? Commemorative string.
I like
at the
having-
new place.
Yeah, we can do that. I like the idea of decorative shrimp. You have to change them often because they go south really quick.
No, you just get the husks. Like after you're done
shrimp
eating them,
shells,
like I
yum.
bet those like don't take that long to string up.
Far more smelly, though.
Probably, yeah.
No, the tails, I mean, they're just like fingernails.
Oh my god, there was my friend's roommate in college was like, he tried so hard to be the fucking weirdest person that anybody had ever met. Like a few stories. One of them, we came into his apartment one day and he was just sitting there in the dark, just in silence, just on the couch, just staring at the wall in the pitch black. And we're just like, "The fuck are you doing?" Just like, and then another time we came in and he had like a piece of cardboard and he was taking dead cockroaches and like melting styrofoam on them and trying to make like dead bug art or something.
Okay.
Yeah, that's oof.
Melting styrofoam is pretty much what concerns me most. It was just like huffing those fumes. Ooh.
It's like, yeah, man, you're weird.
I guess.
Congrats, I guess.
Yeah, no, and I guess he gave him a ride home for
cockroaches?
Like, no.
Well, I mean, that was nice after he was done fucking encasing them in melted styrofoam. At least he gave him rides
one
home.
last farewell ride. No, my friend
And
brought
paid
him
them
home
handsomely.
to like his parents' house, and he's like his bedroom was like painted black, and his parents were all like making fun of him. It's like
Paid them handsomely. It reminds me. Have you guys watched Chernobyl?
Yes.
Yeah.
Excellent show.
I haven't seen all of it yet, but I just liked the episode where the dude asks basically from Gorbachev permission to kill a few guys by like sending them in to turn off the water valves.
Yeah.
And like as he's like looking for volunteers, he's like, "You will be compensated for this." And just,
Your
it
family
cracked
will
me
be
up.
compensated. Yeah, because you'll be dead. And they actually survived quite a long time.
Yeah. All right. Yeah. So where I was starting with that, Dan, do you have anything you want to plug?
Not currently. Thank you for the opportunity, though.
How about you, Patrick?
Yeah, June 22nd, Smell Show. You
Oh,
assholes
shit.
are playing with us too.
We're gonna get real
that's coming right
stinky.
up.
It's getting real smelly. Yeah, that's at Uncharted in Lowell, June 22nd. We're playing with Artie Slang, Crow Feeder, and Knockover City.
Will's told me they have a proper stage now too. At
Yeah.
Uncharted. I haven't seen it yet, but I'm pretty stoked. I like Uncharted a lot, and I would like more excuses to go there. So
Yeah,
I'm pretty
it's-
excited to be playing.
Yeah, it's a great venue. Definitely want to support that place at all costs.
Jim.
Not really. The shit that Patrick mentioned, and then I'll be kind of scrambling to shift things around as it's like we're all fucking moving. At
Oh,
the
we're all
same
moving,
time.
yeah.
It's fucking Alston Christmas up in this piece.
Oh, that's right. The next episode that I do will be probably recorded at my or no, not quite yet, but continue.
Yeah, no, your next episode will be at Jim's, and then following that will likely be at Air. The
Yeah,
Smell
we can
Cave
get-
is done.
Smell
Smell
Cave
Cave
done,
2.0.
but Air Studios, get it? Like the one that's in Montserrat? No.
Christ. Yeah, I don't really have anything going on. Just be sure to check out the other shows on the Zero Science Network, like Nickelback and
Jukebox Zeros.
Box Zeros and Discography Deep Dive, and give them a listen. And if you're listening to this, be sure to give us a good rating and leave us a review. If you're hostile with us, we welcome that. Just have a sense of humor about it.
Yeah.
If you're genuinely funny, we will read it on the show. We will broadcast whatever fucking message you think you have.
And do
We
your
revel
homework.
in your hate.
Yeah, do your homework. Like, actually listen to the episodes if you're going to criticize us. You know what I mean? Like, don't just say, "Oh, you guys are stupid." Like make fun of my voice.
Yeah, and if you're just gonna say we're stupid, give us quantifiable evidence. We give you
Yeah.
plenty. All right, so I think that'll do it for us here. Thank you for joining us. I am Christopher.
I'm Patrick.
I'm Jim.
I'm Dan.
And I always see in the mop.
Zero science.
Lils and Patrick are two local musicians from the New England area whose minimal accomplishments have left them thoroughly unqualified to judge bands and artists who have been more successful than they ever could be. And yet, their passion for bad music persists on Jukebox Zeros, the podcast that takes a retrospective look at the worst albums of all time. From The Shags to Attila, from cyberpunk to Scream. If there's a band that has an album they're ashamed of, Lils and Patrick will be there. Share their love on Jukebox Zeros, now on the Zero Science Network, and wherever podcasts may be found.